Alrighty, in order to create a graph for the daily chow intakes for both the binge group and the chow only groups, what we're first going to do is copy all of the data that we got from the initial chart as well as what we did in question 1. We're going to paste that in a separate sheet. I just did that just so things would be nice and tidy. And since we don't need the body weight for this graph, I'm just going ahead and deleting that. And from there, I am taking the rat IDs for the binge group and I'm copying them and pasting them in below where we initially pasted in that big chunk of data. And from there, I am just creating titles for the week 1 for the weeks and the days, because what we're eventually going to be doing is subtracting out the start of the chow intake from the end chow intake weight, so we can have the difference for the chow intake for each day for each rat. And I'm doing the same for week 2, days 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going ahead and copying and pasting in the rat IDs for the chow only group as well. From there, I am going in and subtracting the start chow intake weight from the end chow intake weight from day 1, week 1 for rat B3, and then I am just going in and copying in that formula all throughout. And I am just deleting the excess data that was pasted in. We don't need that right now. And you can see where I have zeros, those are where I have outliers, and I am just deleting that. And I'm going ahead and doing the same for week 2, subtracting the start from the end, pulling through the formula, and then doing the same for week 1, day 3, pulling through the formula, again, doing it for day 5, doing the start minus the end, as well as for day 5, doing the start minus the end, going through, pulling through the formulas. Well, I'm trying to. It can take a bit of finagling. I did it. Yay me. And I'm going ahead and deleting out the excess data as well as the weird spots that the formula created where it didn't account for the outliers, which are the spots that have no values in them. And I'm going ahead and doing the same for week 2, just pasted in day 1's values, making the formula for day 2, pulling that formula through, I don't know what I just did there, but it's okay. We're deleting it. And I'm going ahead for week 3, subtracting the start weight from the end weight, pulling that formula through. Day 4, subtracting the start weight from the end weight. Again, pulling that formula not yet. I'm going in for day 5 and subtracting the start weight from the end weight. And then now we're pulling those formulas through for both day 4 and 5, deleting out the excess data that we don't need, as well as cleaning up the sets to account for the outliers that were present in the initial data sets. And from there, I am copying and pasting the formulas for the average, standard deviation, count, standard error of the mean, and upper and lower limits, and I am pasting those formulas in. I actually paste this in the wrong section. I will be ending up fixing that, but I'm just cleaning this up deleting the error messages where there isn't actually any data, and I'm just pulling through the formulas so I won't have to rewrite the formulas for the spots that the initial copy and paste didn't account for. All right, now I am just copying and pasting this data set over a column because I pasted it in where I didn't want to. And I am just deleting out the errors in the formulas where it isn't calculating anything, as well as pulling through the formulas for the average, the standard deviation, the count. Okay, now I'm actually doing it for the count. The standard error of the mean, the upper limits, as well as the lower limits. Alrighty, so now what I'm doing is I am copying all of this and pasting it in for the chow group so we can have all of that analysis there and make sure we have no outliers, as well as copying the weeks and the days and pasting it in to the right of where we just did all of this analysis. And I am copying the averages for the binge only group, and rather than doing a regular paste, which you can see I try to do there, you have to do a special paste. So you click paste special and then values. So I'm doing that for the chow only group as well. Copy the averages, right click, paste special, values, and then I'm also doing that for the standard error of the mean for the binge only group. Copying that and paste special, values, and for the standard error of the means of the chow only group, copy, paste special, values. Alrighty, now I'm just labeling the binge groups, the chow only group, as well as the standard error of the mean for the binge group and the standard error of the mean for the chow only group. And now I'm just tidying up this. I'm just moving over week 2 so it's directly next to week 1 and there isn't a gap in between, at least I'm trying to. Alrighty, I'm just going ahead and copying and cutting and pasting this in. And from here, I am selecting, including the x-axis for the binge and the chow groups, their average intake. I am inserting in a column graph, and I am just moving that in. And from there, I am selecting the binge only group. I'm selecting that, and I am going to format data, and I am going to change the color to yellow and have a black border with a 1.5 font. And I'm doing the same for the chow only group, but instead of yellow, I'm going ahead and changing it to be blue. But I still want to have a black border with a 1.5 font, so I'm going ahead and doing that. Ready, now I am selecting our binge only group, going to add chart elements, error bars, standard error. Now I'm selecting the error bars and going in and changing the error bars so they're only in the plus direction and have custom values, which are going to be our standard error binge values. And I'm going ahead and just fixing up the formatting of it so that it is black and has a 1.5 font. And I'm just going ahead and doing the same for the chow only group, add chart elements, error bars, standard error, selecting those error bars, going in, making them plus, do the custom, do the standard error of the chow. And then I'm going ahead because I notice that I messed up on my standard error. There's something up with my formula, so I'm going in and I am fixing it. I forgot to delete one of my outliers, and I'm just going in and putting in the correct standard error. I forgot that I have to do a paste special for this, so I'm going ahead, paste special value, so I have the correct value and our standard errors are correct. And now I'm going back and fixing the error bars for the chow only so that they are black and are at a 1.5 point width. And then I am going in and deleting the grid lines because those are unnecessary at this point, as well as I am going in back in to add chart elements, axis titles into primary vertical, and we're just labeling it the average chow intake, and we're putting in the units, which is grams, and we're adding in our chart title, which is daily chow intake. And now we're going back into our y-axis, selecting that, and we're adding a line to it. We're adding a solid line, making it black, and making it a 2-point width. And we are also adding tick markers. We're adding the major type on the outside, as well as the minor type on the outside. And we're doing something similar for the x-axis. We are adding major type ticks to the outside, and I'm going in, I'm accidentally putting in a black fill. I don't mean to do that. So when I realize my mistake, I'm getting rid of that fill, and I'm doing what I meant to do, which was make a black 2-point line for the x-axis. And from here, I'm just formatting all of my titles to be bolded and black throughout. So I'm making the chart title bold and black, the y-axis bold and black, the title for the y-axis bold and black, the x-axis bold and black, as well as the key bold and black. And there we go. We now have a column chart for the daily chow intake for both the binge group and the chow only group.